Hey guys, daily Venom, day 2, post-practice. Had a spirited practice from our blue shirts. Those are the juniors and seniors. And the white shirts are still learning. And some of those white shirts are eventually going to be blue shirts. But we want them to earn it. We want them to stay motivated. And once they get there, take nothing for granted. 3 types of motivation. Extrinsic motivation. You do something and you get rewarded for it. And it's supposed to make that wanted behavior duplicated. Then there's intrinsic motivation, which is the one we all want. We want kids that are going to do their best because they're just supposed to, and it becomes a part of who they are. You don't have to babysit their emotions. You don't have to always be coaxing effort out of them. They're just going to do it. And the third one, there's a story of this Texas billionaire got bored with his life, and he decided he was going to have some fun. So on a Saturday night, he invited the 10 most eligible bachelors from his town to his palace of a house, gave them a great old big dinner, and after dinner, he said, all right, guys, you guys all wondering why I brought you here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you. Took them next door from this very nice dining room into this huge, beautiful, gold-plated swimming pool, Olympic size. He told the 10 bachelors, you go ahead and stand here at the edge, and I'm going to tell you what you're going to get. I'm going to say, he said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. For the guy that gets across the pool the quickest, the fastest to the other side, I'm going to give him 100 of my most oil-rich acres here in Texas, or I'm going to go ahead and give you $100 million, or I'm going to let you marry my only daughter, the sole heir to this, everything that I have, billions of dollars, and you can marry her and be the next heir to that. So by that time, all those eligible bachelors started stripping down because they say, I'm going to be the first one across that pool. Well, the Texas billionaire is kind of chuckling. He says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go turn the lights out, and I'm going to go ahead, and it's going to take you about 10 seconds to get to the other end of the pool for good swimmers. I'll turn it on after 10 seconds. I'm going to see who's at the other end of the pool. He said, before you jump in, I want you to kind of look over on the edge. One of the guys was the first to the edge. He jumps back. And a splish splash, he looked over there, and there are alligators, barracuda, piranha, sharks, all kinds of crazy man-eating flesh animals in this pool. Well, as quick as they took their clothes off, they all started putting them back in, putting them back on. So the billionaire kind of saying, I told you so. Y'all ain't willing to do everything there is to go be the best and be the richest. He went over to the light switch and said, I'm turning them off in 3, 2, 1. Turns off the lights. And it wasn't more than 2 seconds later, he heard splash. Holy cow. Billionaire is quite worried. So before he gets to 10, he probably got to 3. Turns the lights back on. There was a man getting out, one of those eligible bachelors getting out of the other end of the pool, dripping, soaking wet. So the Texas billionaire, said, I'm a man of my word. He wants to know, he said, hey, I'm going to do what I said. I'm amazed that you did that because you knew that all those critters were in there. I don't know how you did it. He said, but would you like 100 of my most oil-rich acres? The man getting out the other end of the pool said, no, sir, I would not. Very matter of fact. He said, oh, okay, so do you want $100 million right now? He said, no, sir, I do not. So the Texas billionaire assumed, hey, I guess you want to marry my daughter and be the sole heir to everything. He said, no, sir, I do not. The Texas billionaire said, well, what do you want to know? What do you want? The man said, I want to know the name of that stupid sucker that pushed me in the pool. There are 2 things that can bring some change too. Fear and anger. You got to be fearful that you are not going to lose your job. You got to be fearful that somebody's going to take your job. You got to be fearful you're not going to make the team. You got to be fearful you're going to let your teammates down. You got to be fearful that you're not going to be able to get on the field. Whatever it is, the fear has to motivate you, but it's not going to last long. And then you got to be angry to a point that, if you don't get what you wanted, you got to be angry not at the world, not blaming the world, but you got to be angry enough to change the behaviors that led to the things you didn't get. So fear and anger, those two motivating factors can sometimes bring the quickest of changes. We want a bunch of intrinsically motivated scorpions. They're going to do their best no matter what, pull for one another, and no matter what, they're going to compete every single day. So we're all about the intrinsic scorpions, but we know that we got to use everything we can to get the most out of the individual so that the team can be most successful. Motivation. Day 2. Daily Venom. Hooty hoop.